Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Mahalia Joseph and this is your C News Update. Still no update on the search for the woman police officer Nyasha Joseph, who is believed missing. The TTPS says it would update the media before the end of the day. However, we are told officers are still conducting a search. Conflicting reports in the media this morning stated that the 22-year-old Joseph was discovered dead in Beetham Gardens. However, when C News contacted President of the Police Service Social and Welfare Association, Inspector Michael Seals, for confirmation, he clarified the information was in fact a rumor and officers were still on the ground in search of Miss Joseph.
Unfortunately, the details still remain sketchy and investigations are ongoing. The information has been skewed a lot in terms of what is actually happening. There are persons on the ground and the details are yet to be finalized. So I think that patience must be exercised.
Mr. Seals also sent a message to the woman's family and friends, who he said were especially hurt by the conflicting reports.
And what the association would also want to do is speak to the family, those friends, those relatives who are sharing the concern just as the association. We want you all to know that the police service would stand resolute with you all. We empathize with you all. The association heart goes out to you all. If there's any way that we can help to make things better, the association makes available all its resources to help in this.
To show up for work on Thursday, and relatives and co-workers were unable to contact her. Dr. Rolph Balgobin is no longer the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association. According to a statement from the association at its annual general meeting on Thursday, Mr. Christopher Alcazar was appointed as president. It said Mr. Alcazar currently holds the position of Chief Executive Officer at VEMCO Limited and serves as the director on the Export TT Board. During his message to the membership at the AGM, Mr. Alcazar cited a number of challenges to the sector, inclusive of the short supply of foreign exchange, and promised to prioritize with the objective of finding workable solutions. The minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, says the decision taken to dissolve the Tourism Development Company is both good and bad. At Thursday's post-cabinet media briefing, the Minister of Tourism said government has been toying with the idea of dissolving the TDC for just over a year now. The proposal is to have two separate entities controlling tourism on each island.
It gives the impression that it's more power to the people in Tobago to manage the tourism industry. It's bad on the next hand because Daddy Rowley still has the umbilical cord attached to him for the TDC. He's still the boss, he still pulls the strings. And so what we really have is a puppet master and puppets.
He also claims he is concerned that employees at the TDC would be fired and allegedly replaced by members of the ruling People's National Movement.
The Chief Secretary has not shown himself as an independent thinker, but rather a reflector of the Prime Minister. Whatever he says, he answers, he echoes that. And so we are concerned about that in Tobago as the minority leader, as the opposition leader. We are saying while Tobago should have its own tourism development company, the guidelines for such should be made public and more consultation on it should have taken place.
Rough and choppy sea conditions will continue into the weekend, states the Met Service. Ian Wallace has more in your weather forecast.
Walking was difficult at times in Tobago today. This morning, high winds gusting to gale force hit 64 kilometers per hour at Crown Point. Through this evening, we can look for the winds and the showers to carry on. A few of those are blustery showers and long spells of rain are possible, particularly across eastern areas of Trinidad and Tobago. The very moist air will likely stay with us through Saturday. It's been a comfortable day of 29 to 32 degrees Celsius. I expect a mild night above 23 degrees Celsius. For mariners, the rough seas bulletin continues. Strong east-northeasterly winds of 20 to 25 knots and gusting waves of 3 meters through the Caribbean and 3 to 4 meters likely through the Atlantic, with east-northeasterly swells of 10 seconds continuing through Saturday. Low tide at 8:30 p.m. is followed by a high tide at 3:30 a.m. and note that rough seas will worsen in the high tide. That's the latest weather, and I'm meteorologist Ian Wallace.
Was your C News Update. I'm Mahalia Joseph. Have a good afternoon.